I was listening to a podcast, and it talked about this interesting concept and topic about doomsdaying. So, what is doomsdaying? So, essentially, doomsdaying is when people start to actually think of the worst case scenarios of situations when something happens. So he gave an example of, this is 2020, and with the coronavirus pandemic in the UK, the country introduced this lockdown. And at that point, it's like everything is locked down. Everyone has to stay at home. Businesses close and everything is shut down. So you can imagine those people who are complete doomsdayers. The thinking was that was the end of their life, like business-wise, financially, everything ruined, everything done, because people can't go to work, they can't do anything else, and everything has to be like totally closed. So those are the extreme scenarios, extreme situations of those doomsdayers who really think of the worst case scenarios of situations that will happen. So you'll probably find people in different categories of doomsdaying. Others will pick and take the very worst case scenario of as the likely thing of that will happen. Others will probably completely ignore the events and things that are happening and just carry on going on with their lives as if nothing has happened. So those ones are the ones on the other extreme of the things. And then you'll find those who are probably in between, who will consider the worst case scenarios, also look at the opportunities that they present, and end up somewhere in between in a more balanced way. So it was interesting that there was this statistic that 90% of the worst case scenarios or things and situations that you are thinking that will happen to you actually never materialize, So people will get to think of the worst case scenarios that they will land into, and 90% of those will never materialize. So I thought that was an interesting concept and statistic to understand, first of all. And second, also, most people who actually think and constantly think of the worst case scenarios actually end up making them self-fulfilling prophecies, So because you're feeding your subconscious with these negative thoughts and worst case scenarios, you will end up sending and instructing your subconscious to actually go out there and deliver that worst case scenario to you. So it is important to actually get to balance oneself and actually think that, there are opportunities in every situation that presents itself. Because if you look at this coronavirus pandemic in 2020 and how in the UK there's this lockdown, what did it present? So there's a number of opportunities that it presented. So in this particular example, this guy, when this was, they were running a training business whereby they conduct events to their premises and offer training courses. So what opportunity did that present? First of all, they could pivot and start offering these courses online virtually to people, which meant that the opportunity is in that you can offer the courses to so many people now, not just they'll be limited to the number of people who can be and attend in class. So that's a great opportunity. Plus, it also actually reduces your running costs because, you don't have all these facilities to offer. Time-wise, people can actually get to do it in the comfort of their own home at a given time. And they can even be recorded and people can play them whenever they are. And this can be sold again and again and again and again, instead of just that one event when they're running in a classroom. So that's another opportunity. So when you actually take time to stop and think of all the scenarios and all the options that have been presented, that's when you can actually begin to understand that every situation that you can think of has got upsides and opportunities. So in like here, this company ended up offering courses online, and people actually, when they were in the lockdown, they were actually going and listening and attending these classes. So in the event, the company ended up actually making a lot more money than it had previously, just because someone had actually stopped and thought, oh, what are the opportunities that this particular situation presents itself in the current market, rather than thinking, oh, this is the end, this is the worst case scenario, and my life is over, oh, that's it. So you have to stop and think of what opportunities every situation provides. So just randomly thinking of examples. For example, like in let's say you're in property and you applied for planning permission for a development, for example, and it's refused, and that was your plan, and the deal doesn't make sense anymore. You would think that's the worst case scenario. You're gonna lose money and something is, that's it. But if you stop and think, you probably find that with a little bit of creativity, even speaking to the planners or other people who understand more and know a little bit about a property, you could change the scheme into something else that's more attractive. You could change it into something like service accommodation. You could offer it to someone who knows, and they can actually use the existing but in a more efficient and effective way. So there's always ways that you can actually do things in a situation, rather than just thinking of the worst case scenario. So what else? There's all sorts of examples. I dare you, if you presented any situation and you actually stopped and thought about it, you will find that actually it is you have to consider those situations, the worst case scenarios, but don't dwell in them, in the sense that you feed your subconscious with those thoughts to end up them becoming self-fulfilling prophecies, because that is gonna destroy you and also prevent you from moving forward. So it's important that every given situation you stop and think and consider what options and what opportunities that each one present. Of course, it's right to actually think and understand that there will be serious situations to things that happen, because that can actually help you in also your creative thinking to understand what you can do about it. You can it can help you to actually come up with those solutions. So it's good to understand, but try not to dwell into those. Concentrate on the opportunities, concentrate on what those situations present, and then you'll find that you will move forward in a much more constructive, much more an understandable way that will actually get you progress, rather than get you moving backwards and then not progressing at all. So I thought that was an interesting topic to share about doomsdaying. So if you're one of those who are people who consider the worst case scenario, something happens and that's it, that's the end, try and actually take that time to stop and think of the other side of what opportunities this present. How can you do things differently? Who can you collaborate with? And what other people are doing? How can you leverage, technology, people, and all sorts of things, including capital, by working, understanding, learning, and speaking to other people as well? You'll find that you will actually always find ways how you can turn things around. So I hope you go out there, experience, learn, and grow, and stop doomsdaying and think of the opportunities that every situation, even if you believe it's the worst case scenario, that it presents, and you find yourself moving forward. So until next time, cheerio.